What really happened to the smiling critters? Did they all die, or did one of them survive and we get to see it in Poppy Playtime Chapter 4? So far, we've only seen Catnap and DogDay, but what happened to the others? Catnap was killed by a prototype and DogDay was eaten by those very toys. But where did all the others go? Because DogDay himself told us that they were definitely there. And the dying DogDay also told us that he was the last of the smiling critters. But then the question arises, why didn't he mention Catnap, who was alive at the time? Are all smiling critters really dead? What if Catnap was the only crazy monster in their company, and the rest of the monsters were not influenced by evil? Even their toys are pretty hard to call evil. Catnap must have scared them into being so crazy and so hungry that they are willing to eat absolutely anything. I think that Catnap, as the main villain of the third chapter, deserves a separate video, but about all the others, we will now talk. And the first in line is DogDay, whose death was shown to us in the third chapter. To be honest, it's still a mystery to me how he managed to survive until our appearance, considering that we only heard about the rest of the smiling critters a little later. Then all those copy toys show up and start eating the rest of our DogDay's body, and then completely possessing him and taking control of his body. Most likely they will finish off DogDay after a while, and we will never see him again, unless the prototype gets involved. But I want to draw your attention to an interesting detail. We saw DogDay die, and we also heard his voice message on the card, and in that message, we were clearly told that we must rush to him as soon as possible. And what if we can also find out about the fate of the other characters, thanks to these cards with the silhouettes of our smiling critters? The developers also left us a very interesting clue. Do you remember a little 2D animation about smiling critters? In one of the episodes, we were shown sleeping or maybe monster critters, and at the head of all this madness, we see a calmly sitting Catnap. But that would be just a theory if it weren't for DogDay. Take a closer look. His posture is exactly the same as when he died, so maybe all the other characters ended their lives in the same position. In fact, even if you look closely at Catnap, he looks the same as he did in the last minute of his life. Now let's talk about the ones we haven't seen yet. And the first one is Bubba Bubbaphant. We only see Bubba Bubbaphant in video references or as a little toy that has come to life. And in the Smiling Critters cartoon itself, we see him in this strange pose. Let's hear what he has to say to us.
I'm Bubba Bubbaphant. Hey, I remember you. An elephant always remembers. Want to know what I remember about you?
The scream at the end tells us that our elephant is probably dead at the end of this dialogue. Maybe Catnap or the other smiling critters had something to do with it. And all of his phrases are probably references to the fact that Bubba Bubbaphant, like all elephants, has a very good memory. And unfortunately, the last thing he remembered was his death cry. Next on the list is KickinChicken. We don't see his big version anywhere, so we can assume our chicken is dead. Let's not break tradition and listen to his cardboard version first.
Hey, I'm KickinChicken. Want to go outside and hang out? It's looking pretty rad outside. I've never been outside before. Will you come with me? I'm scared. Here, follow me. I'll step out first.
Well, this is a lot more interesting than listening to our Bubba. Am I the only one who thought we got the approximate location of KickinChicken's death at close range? Apparently he walked out of his home location, into the street. Perhaps Catnap saw this as a betrayal. And indeed, that the chicken wanted to escape is very much like that. I wouldn't be surprised if KickinChicken really wanted to do that, because what happened at Playcare after Joy Hour is completely insane. And maybe the chicken was more like one of those smiling critters who didn't want to support the prototype and Catnap. It was trying to leave the location, not necessarily the street itself. KickinChicken could have just left Playcare, but unfortunately, that didn't save him from a sad ending, namely, a horrible death. Well, it's time to talk about the most controversial character of all the smiling critters. Meet Piggy. Let me give you a little spoiler right off the bat. Piggy doesn't scream at the end of his voicemails like the other characters, but instead says some very strange and very creepy things about his friends. Let's hear them together.
Hi there, I'm Piggy. Let's eat. Roast beef, delicious. Grilled chicken, down the hatch. Speared elephant, yum. Slayed unicorn, Still hungry. Hey, what do you say you and I be friends?
The offer of friendship at the end was very tempting, but I would have declined it. You'll notice that she's pretty serious about the fact that she wouldn't mind eating her friends. Of course, we're not talking about all smiling critters, but the reference to KickinChicken, CraftyCorn, Bubba Bubbaphant, I think, is obvious to everyone. And roast beef is a beef dish, so it was probably just mentioned for fun. Which begs the question, wasn't Piggy in bed with Catnap? What if they worked together for a long time, but at some point Piggy's actions seemed strange to him, so he decided to destroy her? Or maybe Piggy wasn't very loyal to the prototype, so our cute cat decided to punish her. But, of course, he ordered 3 of his friends to be killed. And then there is the rather cute green rabbit Hoppy Hopscotch, who is not mentioned among these 3 unfortunate smiling critter. But what happened to her? No indication that she was killed by anyone I've seen or heard of. Speaking of voicemails, let's hear them.
I'm Hoppy Hopscotch. Wanna try hopping to the moon with me? On 3 with me. 1, 2, 3. Again. 1, 2, 3. Listen, this won't stop until we make it to the moon. 1, 2. No, don't look at your feet. None of that matters. Again. Jump.
And after this voicemail, I have 2 theories. Maybe Hoppy Hopscotch was just minding her own business, but something went wrong and she jumped too high and crashed to the ground. Or maybe she was trying to escape. And maybe Hoppy Hopscotch almost succeeded, but at the last moment a prototype or catnap showed up and killed her. But to be honest with you, I'm more convinced of the first version. We're getting closer and closer to the last character. But for now, let's talk about the teddy bear, namely Bobby BearHug. By the way, she doesn't scream at the end of her tape like Piggy, but at the same time, I didn't hear anything strange in her words. She certainly didn't say she wanted to eat anyone. She's just asking for help, like her spirit is still talking to us. Perhaps Bobby BearHug had faith and hope that someone could save her. When she found out her friends were dead, she was very scared and asked us to get her out of this creepy place.
Hi, I'm Bobby BearHug. Wanna know how much I love you? I love you to the moon and back. I'm crazy about you. I'm lost without you. I've been lost a long time. Please, take me with you this time. You won't leave me, will you?
To be honest, it was a little sad to listen to. And finally, let's talk about the character who might have survived. But first, let me explain something to you. There's a theory that each successive character is connected to the previous one, and judging by the fact that after Bobby BearHug, we were shown DogDay, who we realized was alive when we arrived. The next character after him is CraftyCorn, but you can object and say that this is complete nonsense, because in the beginning we were shown the most alive of all, Catnap, who only growled and breathed on his record. But let's not compare him with all the other smiling critters. Let's go back to our CraftyCorn and listen to what he has to say.
Hi, I'm CraftyCorn. Can you help me with my painting? Thanks! Now, can you give me some red? More red, please. Out? But we can't be out. You're hiding more red from me. I know you are. Give it here!
It's pretty interesting that she says we can't go outside, and that might at least confirm my earlier speculation that some smiling critters wanted to escape and tried to do so, but they failed and were caught. And you know what happened to them after that? That's why a frightened CraftyCorn says we can't go outside. Maybe she was just doing her favorite thing, painting, because it's all about the painting and the colors. She must have been talking to someone. I suspect it was DogDay, and at that point Catnap could have heard her and then gotten rid of both CraftyCorn and DogDay. So I have a theory that in the place where we met the dying DogDay, CraftyCorn was quietly dying somewhere behind the wall, but we didn't even hear it. Or maybe he was eaten much earlier. Or maybe he survived. As you can see, these are all theories, but only the authors know how it really is. Well, write your own versions of what could have happened to our smiling critters in the comments. And that concludes our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye, everyone.